here. We're on time. We thought we were going to be super late today.
Yay!
We're kind of on time. We're on time. We're exactly
We're on time.
on time.
On time.
We are known for being on time. Hi, everybody. This is Kyle and Ian. This is FixTheChat.com, or Ian and Kyle play Versus System. Or FixTheChat.com. Yes, incorrectly.
Good Lord, man, you don't want to suggest we actually play by the rules.
Nobody cares. I did tweet at UDU back when we did our 50th stream.
And they didn't care.
And they didn't care. Not even anybody who follows UDE cared. I don't know if anybody who follows UDE can see. I don't know how Twitter works. It's complicated.
Does anybody follow UDE? Maybe
they may also be trying to downplay the older Versus System in favor of the newer Versus System. But they're foolish if that's the case.
True.
Hang on, I'm covering our chat with our video stream.
You should fix that.
I'm going to fix the chat. Chat is fixed. So what's going on this week? Yeah, I'm kind of tired too. It's been a tough week, man. Work was hard, and I've been grumpy and mean to everybody. Hopefully I won't be mean to you tonight.
Well, it's thought that counts. As long as you try not to be mean, we'll allow it.
I've been working in Unreal. First time this project, I've been on it for 2 months, a little bit more at this point. Maybe 9 weeks, 10 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
And it is very different than the way I'm used to developing things. And very easy to do some things, but very difficult to do the types of things that I need to do.
That makes it seem like a questionable choice as an engine.
To use Unreal? Well,
maybe not.
It depends on your objectives.
Sure.
Our objectives are very special, and they're misaligned with the utility of Unreal a little bit. But it's great for getting things up and running really fast. In a very Unreal way, and then if you need things to be different than the Unreal way, that's where it gets difficult. Does that make sense?
I think so. I mean, it's an engine. As with all engines, they have their specialties, I suppose.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start stepping outside of, like, as soon as you're not making Unreal Tournament, you start to discover, I suppose, the challenges it faces.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. So what do we usually talk about? Video games, board games, that's it. Life, cards. What are you playing, Kyle? You're still playing Grim Dawn, but not much?
I haven't had much gaming time this past week, unfortunately. I've still been looking for an opportunity to play some more. I'm still, excited about it, but I have not had a block of time.
I'm glad you're still excited. It is a good game.
I want to keep going. I want to see more. But,
I'd like to tell you I started Ni no Kuni, but I didn't, and I probably won't now for a while anyway.
Man. Is something else going to distract you, or is it just going to be Slay the Spire for forever?
Well, that is the risk, right? It's terrifying.
The risk.
I think I actually said that to Chris the other day. Something like, I wonder if I'm ever going to play a different game. Because I seem to be continuing to play this game. So there is another end point, and I wouldn't say I'm rapidly approaching it, but I am approaching it. And that is, I've been playing Ascension mode. And if we haven't talked about it on stream before, I will explain a little bit. Ascension mode.
I don't think we have, yeah.
Ascension mode is the post-game content, essentially, of... What's the game called? Slay the Spire.
Slay the Spire.
And the way it works is there's a series of tiers to it. Like it goes Ascension 1, Ascension 2, Ascension 3, and so forth.
Right.
And each tier adds a little bit of a twist on the basic rules or difficulty in some way. It makes the game more difficult. It makes the game more difficult consistently. Oh no, I have avocado in my shirt.
It's a green shirt, you'll be fine.
Oh, I probably ruined the shirt because that's oil. I'm going to put some dish detergent on that.
Yep.
But I'm going to finish my thought first.
Yeah, finish the Slay the Spire conversation.
So each Ascension mode is a little bit more difficult than the last and contains all of the previous rules. So, for example, the first Ascension mode, Ascension 1, I'm not going to remember the order, actually. Of the first 3 Ascension
Those were
modes,
so long ago now.
they were a long time ago for me now. I think the first one is tougher enemies. No, it's deadlier enemies. Something like that.
I see. Tougher would be increased health. And just to be clear, to access an Ascension mode, you must complete the previous Ascension mode. So you do them in order, right? It's a sequential, a must beat the game.
You finish one, you unlock the next one, and you sort of push yourself.
And it's by class?
Yes, each class has their own tracking for Ascension mode. And, so like the first one is like enemies have more health, and then the next one is like elites have more. No, the first one is for sure more elites.
More elites,
yes. There are more elites. And then the next one is, I think, enemies have more health, elites have more health, bosses have more health, and they go on like that. And at some point they get more deadly, all 3 of those things.
They just start with strength?
Damaged, don't recover all of your life when you finish a floor. And then the very final one is a special curse.
A special curse.
It's a curse you cannot acquire through any other means except by playing Ascension mode. So there's 10 levels, and once you've finished 10 levels, that's it. There's no more post-game content, unless you consider the daily challenge, which is similar, like special rules per day. So I'm actually on Ascension 10 with the Ironclad now.
Wow.
And I'm on 7 with the Silent. So sooner or later I'm going to finish.
What is the curse?
It's actually, I was very surprised. I thought it's very minor. You can't remove it from your deck, obviously.
Oh, sure.
And it's exhaust. That's it. It's just a dead card that you draw once, essentially.
I don't know. That's sort of insidious, though, because just having a dead card...
Literally every other curse is worse or as bad.
Sure. But those other curses you get throughout the game due to your choices. This one you just start with, right?
Yes. Well, your choice is to play Ascension 10, so...
Right. I suppose... Yeah, but like you can play through a whole playthrough and maybe avoid curses completely.
That's true.
And not on 10. On 10 you start with a dead card that you'll forever have.
Anyway, I'm going to put some dish detergent on this.
Do you have some dish detergent
Probably.
here?
Or do you have a stain stick? That might be even better.
Do you have a stain stick? Do we know where the stain stick is?
I'm going to put some dish detergent on it, and then I'm going to put stain stick on it.
It's a good plan. That was a good plan.
We're short on paper towels.
We're short there, at least.
I'll entertain our viewers for a moment.
Well, I'm just cleaning off the table
to save my shirt.
while Ian tries to save his shirt. I'm
back for ruining shirts. I've ruined several recently.
Okay. All right. Well, you're on a roll. I was telling Ian before the stream, I'm very excited because I've purchased some movie storage. It's going to be great. For some people, that means buying new hard drives. For me, it means buying new Blu-ray racks. I was talking to somebody the other day where I'm like right now, there's still some reasonable case to be a fan of physical media oriented film. You get better audio quality, and you still get better video quality, though the streamed video quality is getting closer and closer to that level. But the audio quality is definitely better on like a Blu-ray than it is streamed at this point. But in 10 or 15 years, that's not going to be the case. Just streamed is going to be better. And I'm going to be that old curmudgeon who's not going to get rid of it. You don't think 15 years the stream will be up to par?
The primary obstacle, this is almost a political discussion. It's not quite, but the primary obstacle to quality streaming is internet infrastructure in the United States. And internet infrastructure in the United States is permitted monopolies by the government. There's no competition, so our internets, compared to the rest of the world, very slow and very expensive. and there's no reason for it not to remain very slow and very expensive. So all these people are promising like real-time streaming stuff and games and apps and 4Ks and 8Ks and whatnot.
Yeah.
They're living in a fantasy world. Like, yes, the technology is possible, but the politics or the what do you call that?
I mean, it's
the market forces in the United States, not the economics. That's what I was looking for.
Right.
Well, I'm really tired. I'm not hitting my words well tonight.
Yeah,
the economics of it in the United States are unrealistic at the moment.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. As we get away from the constraints surrounding requiring, for example, lines in the ground.
Casey's here and he agrees.
Well, Casey. I think we need to get away from just the physical requirements associated with like the pipelines, because here, for example, in the current apartment complex, we don't have one of the mainstream internet services. We have a different one that's really good and better than Comcast from a performance perspective, but it's like a satellite internet, and it works amazing and is relatively affordable and is awesome. But for whatever reason, it's only available in like apartment complexes, so they only like sell their service in bulk to parent organizations. I don't know why they don't yet offer it to, say, individual homeowners, and maybe that's changed in the past 2 or 3 years. We've lived here a couple of years, so the market's trying to find the way, and it remains to be seen sort of what breaks first. If we find an alternative market solution, things like the digital or satellite internet hitting the level that it needs to hit, a wide market appeal, or if we solve, the zoning or the sort of the unbroken monopolies, to your point, in the political spectrum. I think either is possible. I actually think in this case, just given the geography of our country, I would be, I think it is more likely, just again due to our geography, that we'll see market forces have the better shot, but they could both work. It'll be interesting to see. I hope we see it either way, because I would love to reach a point where I can be that stodgy curmudgeon.
You want it to happen so that you won't participate?
Basically. I want that. I dream of this. What? Dear, you handed me a bottle of ketchup.
Can you open it? I can't open it.
Oh, okay.
No, it's sealed.
Oh, I see. Okay, here we go.
It's literally...
Yep, I follow. No, that was pretty sealed.
It wasn't very politicsy, Chris. I hope. I tried to stick it. There was a we could go further into the politics of it, but we try to keep our stream
generally politics
free or politics light as we can.
I think I will accept that as a conclusion of the conversation. I think that every now and then we have an issue that like could tread on the border of that, but is so tied into what we otherwise discuss, technology and entertainment, that it was worth talking about at that level. I have no regrets.
Yeah.
No qualms.
So, back to the video game stuff I was talking about before I discovered that I had put avocado on my shirt.
To be fair, I discovered it.
Well, I discovered it after you pointed it out.
Fair. A sequence of observations. It would be unfortunate if I pointed it out and then you failed to discover it.
Sure would.
That would have been very awkward.
Sure would. So I was talking about Slay the Spire and how I was working on Ascension mode and got quite far in that, but did not finish and may continue to play that. I was going to say probably until...
End of time?
Swords of Ditto comes out at the end of this
Swords of Ditto. Oh, that's...
Which I'm really excited for, and it could be terrible, but it looks like it might be fun.
Is that the multiplayer Zelda-esque
It can be multiplayer, yes. All of those words can apply to Swords of Ditto.
Yeah, that one looked pretty interesting.
I think the most important element you need to know about Swords of Ditto is that the theme music has a kazoo in it, because that makes me very joyful whenever I hear it.
It's hard not to be joyful when there's a kazoo. I think you originally shared a trailer or something of that to me, and I do remember with me would have been proper grammar. Of that with me.
That's not what we really do here.
That's true. Also, my entire sentence was terrible.
Mangle the English language.
Yeah,
that's the other name of our show.
That's right. One of our mini names. We are a mini named stream. But yeah, I remember looking at that and thinking that it did look like some fun. I don't know the game. So after Grim Dawn, which hopefully I'll get to play Grim Dawn again one day.
Me too.
After I
I too hope you get to play Grim Dawn again one day.
All right, I just figured you were going back to it after Slay the Spire, because for the rest of your life, your goal will be to bounce. Dear, your phone is making strange noises.
Terra Strange.
Terra Strange.
I've not finished the expansion content. I had been counting on you to make me excited to go finish the expansion content.
I thought you'd never finished the gigantic Grim Dawn expansion content.
No to that.
All sorts of no, I imagine. Interesting. Well, one day I'll get there.
I probably played, the first time I played it, I probably played through like 80 or 90% of it.
Of the expansion content specifically. Man, that's going to be... See, that is discreet so much. The game is so big.
It's pretty big.
It was very strange. I don't know if I talked about this one aspect of my Grim Dawn experience on the stream yet, but I was enjoying the experience. Like I didn't quite have to force myself to play it, but I started playing it basically immediately after Titan Quest, which was a dangerous proposition, as we discussed. But I think it was worth the risk to get the compare and contrast between the two. But it wasn't until after I completed what we are calling the first act that it really grabbed me. Something, I don't know if it was just like the change in color palette, as is the case with most acts in these games, and partly I would define it like just, I don't know, something clicked just a little bit more, and I became more interested. And it was sort of like, the finding of secrets in the game, and the sense of discovery, and the progression, everything just clicked just right, and I started really being more into it. And I don't want to spoil elements on the stream, but there's certain side and or secret quests that became compelling to me. Ian is smiling knowingly for those who can't see his face, which is everyone watching the stream, and those kinds of puzzles. I often go back to one of my personal favorite games of all time was Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. And one of the things it did better than almost any game I ever played was it had vast sections of content that were hidden, that you could completely miss. And that meant when you discovered them, it was just like you really felt like you stumbled upon something special. And when you solved it had sort of basic mechanics puzzles. For example, I gained the ability to phase through certain soft, objects or bars and fences of a particular nature. I got to go back and look. Like I saw those earlier and couldn't get through them. Now I can get through them. I wonder what's through there. And that sense of sort of that adventure game sense of, not adventure game in the sense of point and click adventure, but more of the other sort of explore version of adventure. Something about that I've always loved, being an explorer and discovering things. And Grim Dawn does that in a way that I feel like I haven't seen precisely in the genre. And so I'm
in that, yeah. It. So, I mean, I kind of gave the Kylie I sort of agree with you. Look there for a second, because I don't think it has like really developed.
It's not like
discovery and exploration and secrets and stuff like that.
Yep.
However, if you add the qualifier in the genre, it certainly is a huge step in that direction, more so than most things. Right.
And I think to that point, it certainly doesn't do it as well as Dark Souls. It doesn't do it as well as Legacy of Kain. But it has more of it than I've seen in the genre, and that is one of the things where I'm like, different enough. Mm-hmm. I am intrigued enough, and I have to think about how I explore differently than I have in that genre previously. What I am observant for is different, and I'm sort of keeping my eyes open for they do a really good job at having many of the secrets faintly telegraphed. Like, if you're standing in this spot with this camera angle, you can see a treasure chest just in the middle of nowhere. I wonder how I get to that treasure chest in the middle of nowhere. And then you sort of have to solve that little puzzle. And it's not to say that... one of the things that's so remarkable about it, and about that style of play, is many times I will, find the hidden path and find my way to the treasure chest. I haven't found a treasure chest yet that I haven't been able to figure out how to get. I found a door I haven't been able to open, but outside of that, 2 doors, I suppose, 1 door and 1 trap door. But nonetheless, when I see something, I've been able to figure out how to get to it. And a lot of times you open that chest and you're like, yeah, nothing I can really use in there. But I still feel good about figuring out how to get to that chest. The puzzles are just barely challenging enough. And they're not particularly challenging. It's just gratifying to go through that process of I've noticed something, I see it, how do I get it? Oh, I can sneak through this crack in the, this space between the trees, and hey, it's a thing for me. Cool. And it just feels really good. So that's certainly not the exclusive driver. You've talked about things in the past, the customization, the devotion system, the constellation devotion system is very interesting.
Well, I think their theory crafting is top notch.
It's really good, yeah.
For 2/3 of the game.
Right. And they layer a lot of concepts very interestingly. So there's more to recommend the game than just that. But I think that secret and discovery thing was something we hadn't necessarily talked about much before, and I think it's just it's another one of the layers that they try that doesn't revolutionize anything, but it works more than not, and it makes it a little bit more distinct. So I think that's the thing that I would sort of call it. That and sort of they have some permanent decisions that have a minor impact, or so far seemingly a minor impact on the game, but just little conversation things that you can't take back, interactions that are immediately saved and are permanent. So you do something, you're like, well, that's a decision I now must live with, and I enjoy that as well, even though it's kind of stressful. I have found a couple of stressful ones. Oh, this person's pointing a gun at somebody else. I wonder if I want to save that other person, or if they're pointing a gun at them for good reason. That sort of thing. And I'm always trying to juggle, like, who do I talk to first? How does the situation look? Okay, this person said this thing, this other person said this. It's fun. It's just interesting little things that, again, don't normally see in the genre, and happy to see in there. It just spices it up a little bit.
All right. I'm trying to gauge if I have enough energy to grouse about Dungeons and Dragons. I certainly have a lot to grouse about. We played yesterday.
I do enjoy a good grousing.
But I
played
think
yesterday.
Yes,
oh, that's right.
We did.
Thursday.
Yeah, we are swapping to Thursdays. My D&D group are swapping to Thursdays for what month is it? April.
Sounds like April.
Which means Kyle and I will be streaming more. Although
On
we're off
paper.
next week, so it's not going to be a lot more.
Right. Maybe get an extra stream in this one.
But yeah, we did play last night, and it was a bad session. I was grumpy.
Genuinely a bad session. Interesting.
Well, I've always felt very mixed about the game I'm in.
Right.
And I hope you'll indulge me for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's a curiosity for sure.
We talked about a little bit in the past how there was kind of some misalignment between the player expectations, and I was a little unsure about the GM. And after last session, I'm really unsure about the GM. Yeah. But we encountered some ghosts.
Ooh, ghosts.
And ghosts in 5th edition have an ability called horrific visage, some kind of visage.
But something not favorable. An
Yeah.
unfavorable visage.
Some kind of visage. And this ability is dumb, and it fails on many fronts. I don't understand how... It's a terrible game design fail, first of all. Mm-hmm. And what this ability does is you make a saving throw versus something, 13 or whatever, which is about average. That's like even odds for most people.
Right.
And if you fail, you acquire a status of frightened, which means you can't approach the target, and you're disadvantaged on saving throws and attack rolls. And if you fail by more than 5, you are instantaneously aged 1d4 times 10 years.
Whoa!
And I don't know what moron thinks that's a reasonable amount of years to age somebody for an attack.
I punch you.
Yeah.
I punch you and you're 40 years older. What?
Yeah, so my character is 40 years older.
Oh my god, you had the double fail.
Yeah, so
Whoa.
I might actually be removed from the game because of that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Even as bad as that design element is, I have to question, like... So, I've sort of explained we're in the middle of the jungle, exploring. You can counter this ability. Like, there's a cure for the ability, but you need to cast a spell called Greater Restoration, which is a 5th level cleric spell, and you need to do it within 24 hours. So, a good GM, in my opinion, would look at this and say, well, my party's in the middle of the jungle, so this is an unsatisfiable criteria.
Right.
Therefore, I should consider the challenge rating of these creatures much higher than it's written in the book.
Right.
And our GM's playing out of a module, so I don't know how much room he has to tweak the challenge to. I'm sorry, we're both reading what Casey is writing.
Yeah.
So we shut up there for a second. So I don't know what knobs he has to turn to tweak the challenge rating, but it was like a very unpleasant encounter. It wasn't fun.
Right.
And of course, like,
So,
as I said,
he's 2 bad rolls. I gained 40 years to my life.
He's kind of I don't know if he's a inexperienced GM, but there's been some questionable, like, he's very adversarial, which is also kind of frustrating because when the party is successful, he gets annoyed and kind of glosses over it. But when we're unsuccessful, he really revels in it, and
He's got
it doesn't
that.
feel very good.
I've seen GMs like that. That's my goal is secretly to win.
Yeah.
My goal as the GM is to somehow win.
So I understand some of his frustrations because 5th edition in general, the rules are written in a way where I don't understand how party members can die short of fucking... Oops, I said that. Sort of freaking ghost abilities that age you 40 years instantaneously.
Yeah.
Because you take lethal damage and you're reduced to 0 hit points, and then as long as you don't take your entire maximum hit points and additional damage, you're good as long as you either stabilize, which is just a random roll, or get healed. Right. So we fell off a big friggin' tower yesterday as well. 2 of us did. And we survived because it's hard to kill PCs in 5th edition.
Right.
One of us was unconscious and it sucked and it was harrowing, but yeah, this ghost thing really stuck in my craw.
No, that's egregious.
And the other thing, I didn't finish my thought on how the GM should approach this. So first of all, he should regard it as a more difficult encounter and should adjust accordingly. And secondly, there should be, like, a good GM would take that and say, all right, this is a very dangerous ability to my party members, so I should telegraph it or give them some warning or, make them aware that they're stepping into danger. But this was, haha, you're in combat. Oh, he uses this ability. You're 40 years older. The end. I gotcha. And I was like, oh, that was terrible. I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where, like...
Well, we're level 3, Casey. I don't know why he's throwing ghosts at us at level 3.
Yeah. That does not seem favorable. I mean, it sounds you could make the case that it is a mechanical flaw and view
it's both. Like it shouldn't be written that way. Like that is not a fun mechanic in any situation.
Pretty dreadful. I mean, that does sound pretty dreadful. What I will say is, to your point, and is the nature of D&D or any role-playing system, to some degree the onus is on the GM to provide the suitable nature of challenge and mechanical behaviors, but it's definitely like the scaling and those numbers is just insanely unappealing, and if you're designing mechanics to randomly just destroy your players, then that's a great mechanic and is reasonable. But if you're a game designer, you realize that's inherently a dreadful mechanic under almost any circumstances. So I myself do not understand. It's sort of like,
Well, that too then is a failing of the system, Casey. Right? Like, it should be important. They used to be way more important. Part of the problem is the ease at which you can recover health in 5th edition.
It's a little too forgiving.
And as I was talking about earlier, the resistance to death.
Yeah, it's sort of an interesting scenario that you're describing, because it sounds like rather than throwing something that would be an appropriate health challenge for you,
let me
if
offer
that was
you
desirable.
Well, we can agree to disagree on that, Casey, but let me offer you the counter argument. Here's how: if I wanted to design an ability that acted like this
Yeah.
life drain or whatever, this
Yeah.
up-aging effect of the ghost, I would say the ghost casts an ability that is an aura. And every round in the aura, you're in the aura,
You
you
age
age
a
a
year.
year or something like that. Then it's a challenge and it's interesting and it's something you can
Right.
overcome.
Right.
This way, it's basically a trap, and a trap
Right.
that you don't have any forewarning about.
Yeah.
It's just not a fun mechanic.
Yeah, like the whole idea, and this is one of the challenge of games that involve dice to some degree. We talked about this when we played, I believe it was Descent, because one of the flaws that I felt Descent had is it had a misrule that was a 1 in 6 chance of failure.
But there's no resolution for us, Casey. I'm sorry, I'm arguing with Casey
yeah.
while you're trying to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
There's literally, like, I imagine we haven't finished, like, we wrapped up late on Thursday in the middle of this scenario. So there's probably some Deus Ex Machina in the immediate area that's
Right.
going to save us from these effects. But that in and of itself does not feel good either. There is no outcome of this situation that feels good to the players.
Right.
And I think that's a game design flaw.
Yeah, like the best scenario is, you know, to that point. Like, okay, the next
the
campaign,
plot device is I'm 70. I guess I'm done. Good luck, guys.
right?
Should I roll up a new character? I don't know. That was really awful. I don't know if I want to keep playing.
Right. Yeah, I don't know why you're playing. Like, it's basically the next time you have to stumble. Like, the best case scenario at this point is you stumble upon a Deus Ex hut in the woods with a cleric who sorts you out.
We're third level. We can't even afford to pay somebody to cast this powerful spell.
He's an altruistic cleric. So you stumble upon the altruistic cleric hut in the wood who undoes the mess that was a bad die roll in the previous session. And that scenario is not good, but allows you to sort of get back on track. So it's like, okay, the last session or half session was made worse because the only two outcomes are you have to Deus Ex me out of it or I can't contribute in any meaningful way. But it at least lets you progress. The worst scenario is, especially given the risk of an antagonistic GM, that they just want to leave you at 70 for forever and you just can't do anything. It's one thing, too, if you were a spellcaster and maybe you could still cast your spells, but as a 70-year-old barbarian, boy, that is a dreadful permutation of events.
And that's true, Casey. But I think what you're saying is also inherent a little bit to the ability. Like, if that were not a game design problem, there would be some notes about this ability and say, hey, don't do this outside of the agency of your players because that's not fun.
Right.
And clearly there weren't because our GM did it.
Right. Right. Yeah, it definitely. And it does. It's like I said, like in Descent, when
that's stupid. That's arbitrary. I'm human, so I'm screwed.
Yeah, it's a bad permutation that the GM should have considered. And in Descent, whenever there were instances of extremeness where you just roll a bunch of zeros, and I can't imagine a world where you're playing a game where you're trying to experience something or live in an alternate world or whatever, and a die roll determines your ability to participate in the game you're trying to play. That is, if you make a series of bad decisions, that's one thing, but yeah, like the situation in which you just get stepped on is generally unappealing. I don't know. I can't imagine deriving any entertainment from that.
I don't play D&D to be arbitrarily removed from the campaign without my input. No, that is not correct.
Yeah. On a D6, roll a 1 twice in a row, and your D&D is now you not playing D&D.
Yeah.
That's not good. Again, the question is, if a penalty is so bad it removes you from the experience, then, again, the GM should have found a way to
I don't
mitigate
think
that.
in 5th edition a random crit can kill you. I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah, maybe. It's one of the reasons that I'm not that I haven't participated in a lot of campaigns is because I engaged in one campaign where I was like the unlucky character. And at first it was funny. Like, there was an initial comedy to it, but then it just started being, oh, I can't really participate ever because all I do, like, my character gets to be the butt of the joke. And there's an element of storytelling amusement to that, to a point. But then unless the experience you want to have is role-playing an utter failure because you can't roll well, like, I don't really enjoy playing utter failures. Like, that's good for a laugh for one session, and then when it goes on for 3 or 4 sessions, it's like, I don't want to play this experience anymore, because playing a failure isn't a rewarding experience for me in any way.
And so here's another element I think maybe will help correct Casey and Chris's opinions of my position, is that my character is clever, but not smart, and focused and directed and dedicated to solving the mission at hand with the information we have presented to us. And half of my party are murder hobos that go explore everywhere.
Right.
So if I want to participate in the game, I have to take unnecessary risk. And sadly, in the context of this campaign setting or RGM, or maybe a combination of the two, unnecessary risk means literally doing anything, because we were not doing anything dangerous at the time that ghosts surprised us and killed us, essentially. So I can't choose not to have random horrible things happen to me.
Did the ghosts feel like, and it might be too soon to gauge this, but was it your impression that the ghosts were more than a random encounter? That this might be like play into?
No, it was not a random encounter. I don't think we have random encounters, or I think we have random encounters rarely. We're playing a module, so move from point A to point B. Here's okay. You got to point B. Let me open the book and read what's in point B.
Oh, interesting. So the GM did not determine that there should be ghosts at this particular point in your narrative, but did in fact follow the instructions stating there should be ghosts at this point. I mean, if he's following the instructions that there should be ghosts at this point...
Well, it might have said that, yeah. But, so if... And again, my argument is, if the instructions are, there are ghosts at this point, and he knows the ghosts have this ridiculous ability...
Right.
Which Casey and Chris are trying to convince me is appropriate and good game design for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't...
His role then is, okay, how can I give you a round? How can I give you an action to avoid this? How can I, make you aware that you are in immediate lethal danger?
Right.
Rather than just be like, you know what I did to get aged 40 years? I approached a tree.
Oh, you shouldn't have
approached. It was a tree. I knew it was a tree. I know I'm a druid and a barbarian with a strong connection to nature.
Yeah.
I was in a barbarian holy ground, or at least that was described to me, and I was like, hey, I think that tree is neat. I'm going to go see that tree. Now I'm 70.
I understand. So you deserve to be removed from the game, basically.
It's true. I was playing pretty fast and loose.
Yeah, fast and loose, moving near the tree. Brilliant game design. Yeah, I definitely think, some people do enjoy... and there's a difference between, in the interest of PG-13, we'll call it crap hitting the fan. There's a difference between crap hitting the fan and you getting crapped on. And crap hitting the fan can be fun, ha ha ha, it's a journey. But you actually getting crapped on has always been one of the big reasons that it's the reason that back in college I designed my own RPG system, was because I wanted to create something where I felt like in situations that indicated skill, you could be skillful and feel as though you could still mess up, you could still have failures, but the threshold of failure and what failure meant was indicated by your character meant something.
Are you leaving, Chris? Did we make you upset?
Fighter got mine. Yeah. I guess I didn't see all their argument. I don't know what the defense is of a scenario that removes a player from a game on a random roll.
Gosh. Well, I hope he didn't. I hope that wasn't because of something we said.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's got something else to do. Yep. Yeah, I do wonder, and maybe, you know, when I watch this later, I'll review the chat to see what the counter argument was, because I think you were looking at the chat a little more than me, but...
I was only, honestly, able to read about half of it.
Sure, so maybe we missed a point or two, but yeah, I guess I'd be curious to see what the defense is of a mechanic that removes a player from the game. That just sounds inherently dreadful. It's like every...
Well, I mean, and again, it's all in context. Like, this whole time...
Yeah.
I won't say I've not had fun,
Yeah,
but
the
fun has not been... It's not been the regular experience. I've been bored a lot.
Yeah.
I've been frustrated a lot.
Yeah.
I've had a little fun.
Yeah.
But then stuff, you know, like stuff like this makes me go, like, why is it worth it?
Yeah, this one's particularly
And I'm not, you know, I'm not stopped playing. I mean, I don't even know if this particular character is out of this session. So it's a... If the character is out of the session, then I have to do the soul searching and see if I want to.
Do I want to keep
volunteer to get back into the session? It reminds me a lot of... I have described it to some people thus, and we've talked about this before. Like, maybe it's better Chris isn't here.
Yeah.
Like the Walking Dead video game, which Chris worked on, the Telltale one. And the Walking Dead video game is a graphic adventure with puzzles in it, and the puzzles aren't particularly difficult, but they are puzzles in it.
Right.
So there's agency, and you have to work at progressing in the game, The Walking Dead. And every time you make progress in the game, something really horrible happens to you.
Right.
And after a little while, I couldn't want to continue solving the puzzles because my only reward was something horrible happened to me.
Right.
And I didn't understand who this game was for.
Well, so I'll devil's advocate that one slightly, because I'm curious. Because I felt as though, you know, what you've described, and I absolutely don't want to talk any specifics, but what you have described does kind of sound like the Walking Dead books. It's like,
well, sure, but
why
that's
am I
not
reading
a fun
this?
experience.
I guess that's true.
To play, like participate in.
I guess that's interesting. So to view it as a spectator, you can appreciate the drama, but when you're a participant, it just feels like the world is beating you down relentlessly, without any hope. That's a sort of an interesting point. The difference being when you're exposed to it, you know, through your own agency, it feels like it undermines in a way your own agency and you know what you're fighting for to have that happen. So I will say this. It sounds authentic, but it does beg the question about...
and there was, it wasn't a terrible experience. There was neat stuff in that too, but it was hard to want to progress.
It's like,
because I was never rewarded for progress. Yeah. Like having, especially in video games, and I think it's true in board games or tabletop role-playing systems, especially tabletop role-playing systems that your GM runs very much like tabletop combat games. Like there's not a whole lot going on in our campaign other than combat.
Yeah.
There's got to be you got to find the nice reward. Stress, relax. That curve is so important in game design.
Right. Yeah.
And if you don't get the relax,
you need your peaks and valleys. Yeah, that's interesting. And I wonder if there's a scenario in which the Walking Dead game, and I'm not intimately familiar with it, but had more character-driven moments between the high-stress moments so that you could maybe appreciate being alive, which is probably the best you get in that world, in the world of The Walking Dead, where the comics sort of alternate between this is absolute hell on earth and here's a simple quiet dinner I'm having with some people that we get one of these every 6 months after 13 people have died, but we get that quiet dinner and it's powerful and it's amazing and you feel more alive than ever. You appreciate things that say you or I might not appreciate or that we might take for granted. And that's actually, it's sort of odd, but I feel like a narrative like The Walking Dead or even Game of Thrones or whatever, some of those things are a little bit life-affirming because when characters just sit down for a quiet evening meal or go to sleep and get a good night's rest, they're suddenly like, man, a good night's rest, that's what we're living for. Yeah. And people in our world, in the real world today, miss the value on the little things sometimes. So that's partly the value that I take from those particular stories and read them. I'm like, man, I got it pretty good. And I don't have it perfect. I do not, but I got it pretty good when compared to the people who live in The Walking Dead.
Well, we went pretty long in our discussion.
Yeah, but it's fun
we
times.
scared off half our chat. The other half
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
talking anymore, so maybe we should play some verses.
Yeah, let's play some verses. Fine, we got to get to that anyway.
I really hope we didn't offend Chris.
Yeah. Well, I guess we may have missed a thing he said at some point.
It could be.
And if that occurred, then that is unfortunate. It's very difficult to actively... Well, and the problem is, of course, it's tough for us to actively engage in chat because it's, for a lot of video games... double A. For a lot of video games, when you're streaming a video game, you have the chat in a monitor that's, like, right next to you, or it's an overlay on the monitor that you currently have.
Well,
And
a
for
lot
us,
of
it's,
video
like,
games
way
don't
off to the
require a
side.
lot of thought either, so...
Right. So you can respond to chat actively, but you're not necessarily engaging in conversation with another human being. So it's definitely a juggling act, and we easily could have missed things, and it's very tough. And then, of course, we both will read the chat at the same time, providing awkward silences.
Yeah, yep.
So it's definitely a juggling act we've not yet perfected. So if we did indeed miss a thing that Chris said, I'm sorry.
And like to his point, like I don't want no risk of failure.
Of course not.
And I'm starting to think like I feel like maybe just I don't like 5th edition. Maybe 5th edition is just not a good system mechanically for me.
It could be. It's very funny. I mean, when we were talking about ARPGs briefly, and I'll just say that like ARPGs really, really, really struggle with the problem that you have experienced, which is like, oh, I'm going around and killing everything. Oh, this enemy has this random combination of effects, and I'm aged 40 years. Right? Like, this is the problem. So what you've described sounds like 5th edition, where you felt like everything was a little bit too easy. You never felt
No, I never
threatened.
felt like anything was easy.
Okay. You said your life never felt threatened. You never felt like you were going to die from health. Is that not an accurate interpretation?
I mean, it kind of is. Like, I feel like the there's a subtle distinction there. I feel like the mechanics of 5th edition make it difficult to kill players by dealing them damage.
Okay.
After a few levels.
Okay.
Certainly not early on. But we haven't had an easy time of anything. Like this GM has been out for blood.
The whole way, yeah.
We haven't had a good day.
Right. I will choose the inner die. I've lost.
These guys go evens, I think. I think I gotta toss these.
I'm gonna keep, but it's really not great. You said evens?
I did.
I have the Curs. The Curs at the start of the combat phase, if Curs is in your KO'd pile and you control a Nihilus, you may discard a card. If you do, put the Curs to play.
Yeah, just a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reminding myself how my deck works.
Yeah. Definitely worth it.
I've got spoiler. Whenever I draw a card, I may gain 1 endurance.
I should attack you for 2.
Okay, I'll take 2.
I'll take 1. No. We don't put that low. Almost put myself down to 29. That'd be getting carried away. 49 is the number. Boy, I really struggled with getting that die to what it needed to be. It is now your initiative.
I'm not going to recruit a 2-drop.
Well, alright. If that's the way you want to play it, I won't recruit in it.
Whoa. I'm glad you didn't recruit whoever that is. It sounds terrible.
It's terrible.
I'll attack.
Take 2.
Yay. 2?
I have 0 defense.
Oh.
The Curs are novel that way. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now it's my initiative. I do have a 3-drop. I'm going to recruit the Seekers. When they enter play, rally for a card with negative zone. or the negative zone symbol in its name, affiliation, or game text. I will rally for, hey, the negative zone! They never work. That's amazing. I'm so excited right now. A successful rally. Boy. I am so excited right now. How do I want to form? So you got spoiler. I guess I'll do it like this and see what happens. Do it like that.
This draw is super weird. I don't know what's going on over here. I'm going to recruit Catwoman. Catwoman gets -3/+3 while visible. She's a Birds of Prey, so her stats are swapped.
Birds of Prey, so stats are swapped. Huh. Well then. Swapped, you say? So what you're saying is your stats are swapped.
I did say that.
Sure wish those stats weren't swapped. There's so many outcomes here that I don't like. Could do the bad one.
Let's do that one. For you or for me?
TBD. It's bad. Alright, Seekers are going to attack Catwoman. I'm going to power up. You're giving due consideration.
I have a lot of crap in my hand.
Yeah,
just bear with me.
That is fine. Totes fine.
Is there a reason to do that? Not really. I guess I'm gonna play Cry for Blood.
Cry for Blood.
Target character I control gets +3 attack while defending this turn. If it's a Birds of Prey character with concealed, I may move it to my hidden or visible area.
Oh, interesting. Do you move its position?
No.
Okay, so you are +3 attack?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So we will be stunned.
Correct.
Yeah, that'll work. Take 3.
I will also take...
I'm going to activate the Curse to play Invasion Plans to draw 2 cards. I may only play that during my attack step.
And then I will pass. Why? This draw. Man, it sure is a bunch of cards.
It sure is a bunch of cards. I guess it's your initiative now. That's what I'm getting out of this. I'm not going to put down a resource yet. I'm going to see what you do. It's your initiative.
It's so weird. It sure isn't what I really like to do. I'm going to recruit Vixen to my concealed area. And also Irie 1. Vixen stats are normal while concealed, and they're swapped while she's visible. And Irie 1 says characters I control have flight, and I can free move target Birds of Prey character with concealed I control to my hidden or visible area once per turn.
Well, that's novel. What resource do I do? It's probably... swapped while visible.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually going to read this.
Okay. It's probably that. Do you have the Centurions? At the start of the combat phase, if negative zone is not in play, discard your hand. Or pardon me, discard a card. Also, the Centurions cannot be stunned while attacking. I do have a negative zone, which I will flip and discard a card, though I have to think about what I'm going to discard. I'm going to discard... I'm going to discard... another Centurions. This negative zone says, at the start of the recovery phase, draw a card if an opponent controls more stunned characters than you. And I will form, even though you've got flight everywhere. You do have flight everywhere. That's probably right. We'll form like this.
Spoiler's going to attack the Centurions. I'm going to give her 2 crack shots.
2 crack shots.
Target character gets +3 attack while attacking this turn and has range this turn.
Dang. That is a lot of the attacks. So you are up to 7 attack on Spoiler. It's pretty legit, pretty legit. Pretty legit. I think this is going to work. I will take 2 breakthrough and 4 resistance. I'll take 6. Oh. So I'm going to play Messiah Complex. Return a character card from your KO'd pile to your hand. I'm then going to power up the Seekers and attack Catwoman.
Target birds of prey. Attacker or defender you control gets +2 attack this attack, and an additional +1 for each other birds of a feather in your resource row or KO'd pile. That's the name of the card. That's why I get confused.
Which is 0, so you get +2 attack, which is 5, which would be enough to counter stun me. That will work. So I'll take 3. And I'm going to play another invasion plan this one.
Thank you for 9.
I'm going to take 10. Ow. Goodbye, Curse.
You do not get both of your stunned characters back.
That's true. I got to keep the Centurions. That's a gimme. Got a lot of cards, so what can I do with it? It's now my initiative, which is useful. I'm going to recruit Annihilus with a Cosmic Control Rod. Annihilus has, when he enters play, if negative zone is not in play, exhaust him. He also has activate stun target hidden character, use only during your attack step.
Oh. That's not good.
You can, I think you can respond to that by moving your hidden character.
I guess I lose every one.
That's true. So Cause my control rod equip only to Annihilus. Equipped character gains invulnerability.
I think I need to. That sucks.
Interesting. You do it now to avoid the...
Oh, I could do it, I suppose.
You could wait and do it in
Yeah,
response,
you're
but,
right.
like, there are reasons you might want to do that now. So I'm not saying that's wrong.
I got it. I know how to play this game.
Yeah,
I'm not exhausted.
Yep. And I will form like this.
Kevin and I will probably be shouting about our experience tomorrow. Some more.
Very exciting.
Yeah, cool. I don't need a 5-drop. That's for chumps.
For the chumps. Well, the correct order of operations is that the Centurions must chat. Chat Catwoman.
They're gonna chat with her.
I'm gonna chat with Catwoman.
Aw, how nice.
We are the Centurions. Would you like a conversation and cup of coffee?
Right. Well, what I play is good cop. Target Gotham Knights defender in your support row. Let me make sure she's Gotham Knights. She is. Gives +2 attack this attack and has reinforcement this attack.
It is to you. So if you opt to... Let's order of operations for just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
If you trigger the free, I can respond by stunning your character if my character is ready. And you would get stunned because my effect would resolve first. If I target your character with my activated power, you may respond with free and would not be stunned. So it becomes a game of chicken. Though I'll probably just attack you given the opportunity. Probably. We'll see what you decide to do.
The control rod doesn't do anything but give him that power.
Just invulnerability.
Oh, invulnerability.
Power is on Annihilus. It was with him all along.
Why is everything stupid? Why is my draw so stupid?
Fair question. I definitely was falling behind. I lucked out that you didn't have a 4 or a 5 to play this turn.
God, my kingdom for like anything.
To be fair, part of your advantage has come from the fact you've played some very aggressive stuff over there. Decisions.
One friggin' point. Man, it's so awful.
I do understand. I like Negative Zone. It always feels a little shaky to me. I am back in this game because you missed a pretty important drop. Thusly, Ian contemplated and made strange expressions.
I pass.
That's an option. So now I face the choice of, I could attack you for 10. The odds are pretty good you would just have to take the 10 damage. I can't foresee a scenario where you could stop that. If I activate and target your character, you must fire Area 1. Because to not do so costs you Area 1 anyway. So you fire Area 1, move your character visible, prevent the stun, but you lose Area 1. So the question is, what is more valuable to me? Do I make you ditch Area 1, or deal you 10 damage? Maybe that puts me in a better position for next turn. You do have initiative next turn. And if I don't get a better life position, though, you might just come out ahead.
Annihilus you have to use on your attack step?
I do have to use him on my attack step, that's correct. I'm gonna pop him to target your character. I'm gonna make you use Area 1, get rid of your flight if I can. Just for kicks, I'm gonna discard a card to flip another one of those same negative zones. Those are the ones that say if you have more stunned characters than me, I get to draw a card during the recovery phase. But that's all I got. It's back to you.
I'll attack Annihilus.
Sure. You sure?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to play Tied Down.
Okay.
Target defender gets -3 attack. This attack an additional -1 for each of these I've played.
Which was 1. You played one of those already?
Mm-hmm. And then...
You have to throw some more attack at this for it to work.
Yes. I'm going to play Birds of a Feather, which is +2 attack, +1 for each I've played before, which is 1.
So you're +3 attack, and I'm -3 attack.
Correct.
Right. So what does that put us at? You're a 9/9. I am a... That's correct. You are 9/9, and I am a
7/9.
7/9. You have 1 power up.
Break you. For 1, so 2.
Break you for 1, so for 2. Alright, that'll work. So your total attack was 1 ahead of my defense now.
Yep.
I take 1.
No cards for you.
No cards for me.
I don't know if that was worthwhile.
Yeah, it's
I
hard
don't know
to
if
say.
anything else is worthwhile I can
Yeah.
do with these cards.
It's hard to
They're
say.
not very good cards.
Card draw is pretty important, so I'm not sure. And you got initiative, so keeping me from card draw is not so preposterous. I love this particular thing so much. I might not even get to do it this game. It'll be funny. I love doing it every time, and it's stupid. And this deck is stupid. My deck is stupid. It does some stupid things. And not like stupid in the effective way, stupid in the novel, I did something kind of way.
Down in lower lands gets +3, -3 while visible.
Boy, oh boy, that's a thing. Well... got Ravenous. When Ravenous enters play, I may replace target face-up resource and gain endurance equal to its cost. What's strange about that is you don't have any useful resources. So maybe I target an invasion plans to get more life. It's 1 extra life point.
You might be able to play what you put there.
I might. Or it could be a thing I need. I guess statistically, it still probably favors playing something. Well, I guess we'll do it the crazy way. You don't get to see what I get, though. It was a card. I do gain 3 life, however, from that. For my formation, I did take away your flight, which is nice. So what do I do with that? What do I do with that?
I didn't form right. Oh well.
Do you want to reconsider?
It's fine. I'm sleepy and my cards are bad.
So I think I go... No, it probably is like this. Huh. I think it's like that. So you're probably going to go for that or that. I just don't care, but if I go like that, you'll do that, and I care more. Does my formation even matter? That's weird. Yeah, I guess I'll form like this. And we see what transpires. There's a slow motion thing occurring. Oh, it stopped. Rewound in fast motion. Yeah, I know. I do understand. This game is becoming increasingly awkward.
It's a nihilist?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not awful.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna get you back. I'm not gonna reinforce either, of course. So you get me for
It's 11.
2 damage.
Yeah. First blood.
Joke's on you. I gained more life than that from getting rid of my own invasion plans. So now I must decide what the appropriate response is. I've got to leverage the Centurions. They're susceptible. So do I go for the safer bet? Maybe? No. Because then you can stun them. Then I would have 2 stun things, and I don't want 2 stun things. Does that mean I open with that and not the Centurions? I think it's Ravenous against Vixen. And we'll see if that works. You can't have too many more gigantic stat modifying plot twists, dang it. No, you're out of them. Stop it.
First things first.
Oh.
Bat signal. To play, exhaust a Gotham... Oh, she's not Gotham Knights.
Oh, no.
She's not Gotham Knights. That's okay.
Okay.
First thing first. Cry for blood.
Yeah, that's -3 attack.
Target a character you control gets +3 attack while defending this turn. If it's a Birds of Prey character with concealed, you may move it to your hidden or visible area.
Should have done it the other way. Or...
I'm going to take a boatload of damage, though.
That's
right?
true, my attack was 13. Boy, that real hurts. Real hurts. You have again thwarted my negative zone. I think that was your last card, though.
Shh, it's fine.
Man.
Nuh-uh.
Touche.
I don't know why I'm dealing cards.
Yeah, you can deal them all you want. Eventually you gotta look at them and then shuffle again. Yeah.
That's probably not going to be much use, but
I'm going
it's probably my best choice.
I'm gonna assume you're going to pass.
Actually, no, it's not my best choice. Barbara Gordon is my best choice.
Mm.
Yes, I will pass.
So... I'm going to attack Catwoman, assuming you pass for 9.
Yep. I'm going to take 6.
Yeah. Should have done it the other way.
Math. Math I can do.
Math I can do. Math I am. Math I am. I assume you pass again, I shall also pass. And I have to lose Ravenous. Which is really annoying, because he's my stats. Oh, that. Powering up is a combat action, right?
Yep.
Okay, just checking.
Crap. I should have gotten the other one. I didn't think that through.
Well, I'm not in great shape, I'm not gonna lie here. It's just not even worth it. It's a terrible plan. I just shouldn't even do that. It's so stupid. Is it my initiative? My initiative. Ha ha! I am deciding things. I am deciding things.
I don't think you are. I would like you to decide something.
Yes. So I need to see. I don't have the thing that I need that lets me do the other thing. I've instead got 3 of the 4 pieces of that stupid play. But somebody's been keeping me from drawing cards.
4-piece play sounds awful, so I'm glad you don't have it.
This is
Especially
negative zone.
as terrible as my draw has been going.
Yeah, negative zone is like complicated, but not really effective. So that would be 1, 2,
Buckle my shoe.
3. It's there. It's so bad. I've got to do stupid things. Really not in a good position. It's just funny. So I'm going to start by recruiting the Seekers,
Okay.
which lets me rally for the Curs. They do have negative zone on them. Then I'm going to recruit another Centurions.
Oh, it's not bad.
It's not atrocious. I get to spend my points. But I got to think about formation.
Centurions
This
are
is
really good.
This is not ideal. I think I go like... I can get whatever you bring out with the Centurions. But then I'm left with not a great scenario. Maybe I have to do this because you don't have flight, and that's silly. I think I have to acknowledge that there's a very high probability I'm dead, and I have to disable or kill you more somehow. So that's the game we play.
I'm going to recruit Barbara Gordon by substituting for Vixen.
Whoa!
Then I'm going to activate free draw card.
Yeah, right on. Oh.
Then I'm going to substitute... This is not useful. I'm going to substitute Huntress for Vixen. I'm not Vixen. I mean, indirectly Vixen.
Sure. Indirectly Vixen, as they all say.
And then, this is how I screwed up. Unrecruit Barbara Gordon Oracle, who is concealed only. Oops.
Yep. That's a
When Barbara Gordon
circumstance.
enters play, draw 3 cards. I hope
get
it's
some
Irie 1. I hope this one's Irie 1.
It could
I
be.
hope this one's Irie 1. Let's see.
Concealed is not what you want right now.
I agree. What is this card? Do we do that and it's stupid?
Maybe.
What are the odds we're living through the turn? Probably not very good.
So, my opening plays, if nothing changes, is I'm going to team attack, of course, your only visible character, attempt to stun Barbara Gordon, and then if you can't get the Seekers, I'm going to attack you with the Seekers, which was a grand total of precisely 18 damage. So you have to stop something at some point. And ironically, your 2-drop visible makes it worse. So if you can move her visible somehow, it's worse.
I'm going to substitute Cassandra Cain for Barbara Gordon.
Nice play. That's a nice play.
I don't think it's enough, but it's
What-
something.
What is she a discard?
Cassandra Cain's power is I may discard a Gotham Knights or Birds of Prey character card, and Cassandra Cain gets +1/+1 this attack. Now, I need to run some math before I decide if I'm done recruiting.
I mean, you're out of resource points. Oh, but you can substitute more. Oh my word.
So you have numbers on the table
Yeah,
that
that's
are
true. It's true.
a lot.
It's funny, that
18,
substitution is
20,
brilliant.
24. My defense is
24. I wonder where you got to 24.
34? 34.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I don't see a... I don't even know you got to 34. 33?
Well, that's a 5. That's not a 9.
That's true, they are not the Centurions. I kept adding up different combinations. Like, no,
Okay,
still don't
so
get
you-
the numbers you're saying.
Yeah, 2 giant centurions, a nihilus. No breakthrough, or very little breakthrough.
I'm not going to have a lot of
And you
breakthrough.
can't hit my hidden characters.
I can activate to stun your hidden character, but it's might be not cost efficient at this point. I think getting rid of Area 1 earlier was the right choice. That's funny.
Is 1 enough, or do I want 2?
Boy, I don't know what that means, but I don't like it.
I need 2. Alright, I have to keep it in my head. Alright, I'm done.
Oh, Lord. Alright, well, the opening play is that I must use my Centurions on your 6-drop with a team attack. Even at the expense of breakthrough, as neither can be stunned while attacking.
Right, and then I just lose?
I don't
guess
know about
don't.
that.
I guess I don't. I guess I get to next turn.
I think you get to next turn, but I'm not 100% sure.
I needed to do this differently. I screwed it up. Twice, 2 screws.
Well, we're sleepy. So alright, so let's assume I get the stun. That's 6. You're at 10. I need to get 10 more damage out of you.
6.
Can I get 10 more? Depends on what you got.
I should have done it.
You want to
Should've
rewind?
done it.
You want to?
It's complicated.
Fair enough. Do you attack?
Nope.
Right. So then I must... Alright, so the math works like this. Obviously, activating an Annihilus is not the right choice. If I attack Cassandra Cain, and nothing affects the stats of anything, you have 2 cards in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You power her up with any card discard or a character card.
They have to be Birds of Prey or Gotham Knights character cards.
Right. So, and you are... Yeah, okay. So, if I attack you, and you have no power-ups, you be dead. Appealing enough. If I attack you and you have 1 power-up, you would still technically be dead. I'd have you exactly. If I take you and you have 2 power-ups, I'd be dead unless I did something.
I don't think you'd be dead.
Well, a nihilist would be deader. So the question is, what are the odds of both of those cards being character created? You do also have potentially one plot twist. What are the odds that it's defensive? You have a plot twist that reduces my attack as well. That is a card that's in your deck. Which card was that?
Tied down.
That's tied down. And that reduces the attack of a defender.
Yeah.
Alright, I've got to play for the win. Which means I got to hope you don't have 2 character cards in your hand. Aw. Well, that's pretty bad for me.
It's not great for me.
It's true. I do have an invasion plans. Passing. It's probably the right call. You're in a better position. Had to try it. Still won't get my card draw. Ooh, doggies. Ooh, doggies. Turn 8. Well, it's your initiative.
I may activate Ted Grant, and target attacker or defender I control gets +3/-3 this attack, and I may move Ted Grant to my hidden or visible area.
So now I must decide how I do this. There's almost no solution that I like. That's bad. You don't have flight at the moment. It's real bad. Real bad. Do I have to play for next turn?
Really? Are you going to recruit something worse than a 4-drop?
Worse?
The same? Like, you're ahead of me in life and in board position, so I don't know what you're hemming and hawing over.
Well, yeah.
So unless you recruit nothing, you're probably going to win this turn.
I don't have nothing. To answer your question.
What is it that you have, Kyle? Why don't you share it with the group?
So, I have another Centurion.
Oh God, that's the worst thing.
And then that's that. And then I have 2 Atlantean warriors in my concealed area.
You're in such good. You are way misreading this situation.
Well, what's Ted Grant's powers again?
I can activate him to swap, give +3/-3 to a character, and then move him.
Yeah, I guess you've only got 1 safe attack. How many cards in your hand?
1.
Right. Got to deal you 10 damage. Yeah, this is how we do it. They're concealed. They are a 3/2 with range. I can recruit them from the KO'd pile while I control the Submariner. And whenever they enter a KO'd pile from play, they are removed from the game.
I attack the Centurions in front of a Nihilus.
Yep. Do you have to activate Ted Grant to use his power? I think I just have to eat the damage. Your attack is 11. Oh, that's a lot of damage. I think I eat the damage. If I reinforce, I don't have enough attack on the table to get through you. So I eat the damage and take... Your attack was 11, so I'll take 10. I must target Ted Grant with this.
I can't use his ability. Interesting.
Oh, is it only an attacker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, it works.
I still might not have enough to get you.
Of course you do.
Oh, I can attack your 6. But then can you kill me more? So, the two choices I have are I attack your 6-drop and you're dead. But you have 2 remaining characters to attack with. One of them you can gain a life point on. And the other... I guess my position is that I can reinforce. You'd be at 0. Cassandra Cain could attack Centurions and maybe not get stunned back. I would reinforce to take 4. You're probably not going to get me for 5 damage unanswered with Huntress. What are the odds of Huntress in this board state getting 5 unanswered damage? It's pretty low. Okay, that's close. I'm going to do it. I'm going to attack your 6-drop. Don't know about any of this.
Attack the Centurions in front of the Seekers.
Right. So I reinforce and take 4, putting me at 5. Can't do anything with these guys. I'm going to pass.
Attack the Seekers.
I will take 3. I knew I have you.
That was a dumb game.
That's silly. +2 to -2. The substitution of a 5-drop for your 7-drop made that close. Also, you not recruiting a 5-drop on 5 made it close. I know. I like it when Negative Zone gets a fight. I feel like I've always felt they're a little bit on the weak side. They have some really, really powerful plays that have a lot of prerequisites. And that was kind of a weird niche scenario.
I didn't dislike that game.
Yeah.
It was
a silly game.
It was one of those where I slipped off the ledge
Yeah.
in the draw phase, the
Yep.
first one, and I was scrambling to get back on the ledge the whole time.
Right.
Never quite got there.
Right.
I had to play very creatively to prevent myself from plummeting to my death.
True that. I gotta re-sleeve these guys. This is one of my older decks, and they got their ECUs.
What's next?
What do you want, the front one or the back one?
Front
Closer to you?
I don't know. Front one.
Alright, sure. This one is an A deck.
Turns out, lots of plot twists, not always a stand-in for a character.
Right.
Almost.
It was
Not
close. Missing 5 did you in. I think that game would have been yours if you'd had 5. I'm pretty confident of that, even.
I wonder how it would have gone if I would have remembered to get my other 7-drop, even though it was less.
Who did you have
useful.
the 7-drop on there? Was it Batman?
I have a Batman, which I wouldn't have recruited because my hand was empty.
Right.
I would have gotten Lady Shiva. I have 3 7-drops.
Oh, yeah.
And she boosts characters when I play. She
Plot
boosts
twist.
all characters when I play Plot Twist, but my hand was empty. so I
Right,
was
but
like,
she's
that's
visible and has big
Yeah.
stats. Or decent stats.
She can't be stunned by a Nihilus and has big stats, which is the
Right.
important thing.
It's a good combo.
Or I can choose to have them not be standby. Alright, A deck. A deck. A deck.
A deck. A deck. A deck. A deck. 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 A deck. Deck. Deck.
Deck, 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 deck. Playing all silver today.
All silver. All the time. I think I know what deck these two cards go. These two cards are sitting on the table. I think I figured it out. I looked at them at the start of the night, and I'm like, these cards don't go in any of the decks that are on the table right now. I will choose the inner die again. I did win that time. I'm going to go...
Really weird just then.
I'm going to go...
Useful, 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 useful. I don't think I can keep it.
I guess I'm going to go evens. I can do some good stuff on evens.
Right choice.
Oh. Man. I feel like I should keep this.
And yet...
I have to keep this. It's too what it is. Oh boy.
While the GCPD officer is exhausted, it has reinforcement.
Joke's on you, I have
Why they called him an it. That's weird.
a wild sentinel. A wild sentinel appears. When it comes into play, it gets +1 attack this turn.
I'll attack him.
Oh! 49s. This is going to be interesting.
Oh.
Go on.
This is not the deck I thought it was. Oops.
Should we reset? We're only a turn and a half in, so if you want to reset, we may.
Let me make sure it's not the deck I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's not the deck. Let me see. Yeah, it's not the deck I thought it was. Yeah, let's do this again.
Sure.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
that's all right.
It will screw up my bag sort if I don't do it
Please.
correctly.
Yeah. No real telling.
I have many decks that are too similar. There, that's the one. Here we are.
All silver. That's pretty great.
Sorry about that, folks.
It's all right. Don't want to screw up the bag sort. It is importante. Or as they say in Spanish, important.
I don't understand why everybody's so mad at me for having opinions on role-playing games.
Yeah, it did seem interesting. I don't know. You've had a questionable week in some measures, not the least of which was aging 40 years in a day.
A lot of people have been mad at me this week.
So, it's possible that other people have had a bad week too. I cannot say.
That's risky.
No. We play 4 cards. I will roll again and declare inner again.
I think I'm gonna.
I lost that time.
I think these are evens.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh, deck, what are you doing? I'm gonna keep, but it's shenanigans.
Wild Sentinel.
Yeah.
Bah.
+1 attack this turn.
GCP officers, the GCPD officers,
Oh, they're gonna work this time. This works in my favor.
while exhausted, have reinforced.
Well, I'm gonna attack you for 2.
Aw.
The shoe is on the other foot now. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Now it is your initiative.
While the GCPD officers is exhausted, it has reinforcement. This is not going too well over here.
Well, I have some hope now because I have the Sentinel Mark II, which is really terrible, except in the circumstance where you have 2 characters that are 1/1 exactly. The Sentinel Mark III is an army character, and it says Army Sentinel characters you control get +1 attack while attacking. So we'll form like this. Because this is nice. It's got a certain feng shui to it.
I'm going to pass.
You're not supposed to do that. It doesn't make sense.
I agree.
I feel like this is a trap. Because you passed. I guess maybe this saves you a damage? I don't know. I'm going to attack a GCPD officer of your selection. Okay, that one.
I'm going to reinforce it. I'm going to reveal that I have Liberty Island base. Activate. Target defender with reinforcement gets +1 defense this attack. If it's a Teen Titans defender, it gets +3. Plus 1 defense.
I have a power-up.
Oh.
You ate a power-up for a thing you can do every turn, so it's not bad. Dost thou'th pass?
Yep.
I'm going to take you for 2. He's an Army Sentinel.
Okay, I'll take 1.
I am also stunned to take 1. But more importantly, I take out a GC Weepy. That's really, really important in whatever your deck is.
Oh, come on. Come on.
I don't even know. So now it's my initiative. I'm going to do this card here, like that. And I'm going to recruit the Sentinel Mark II. The Sentinel Mark II has activate, discard a Sentinel character card from your hand and negate target activated character effect. I don't have a 4-drop either, but I've got a bunch of little Kiwi Sentinels.
I don't have a 3 or a 4-drop. I have just a GCPD officer.
But, all right,
in
that's
my
fair.
Weenie Rush deck.
That's fair.
One more time?
Sure, sure. And tonight, you should only play silver decks.
That was a bad one.
That was bad. I'm like, I don't have 4-drop either, but you're not having a 4 or a 3. Okay, fine, you've convinced me.
Just have a GCPD officer.
But that one guy is determined. I mean, he is determined.
Just shooting at them Sentinels.
Pew, 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 pew.
Stop it.
Ian whispered to his deck
I was
loudly.
going to say, it's a heck of a whisper.
So, minor note, we had a team outing earlier tonight. Should have talked about this earlier, but I'm shuffling for a moment here because my draw was terrible also. It was about to get really bad. It wasn't as bad as yours, but we went to a place, I think it was called
Can't out terrible me.
I think it was called the Emporium or something, and it was a bar that was also an arcade. And it was a pretty good arcade. They had
Pinball?
They had like 10 pinball machines, including some I'd never seen in person. There were a few that I had played digitally in a pinball sim I played a while, but they had Black Rose. Have you ever played Black Rose? It's a pirate-themed one.
Maybe.
It's really a cool table. And they have the staples, Twilight Zone, Addams Family. I was meant to say inner, but I'll roll again and say it. Inner.
You won.
Did win. I will go evens.
I think I throw these. That's a weird thing to throw. I might not be able to get a break with these guys tonight. If it happens again, we're moving on.
Right on. I'm keeping. Interesting.
Well, I'm having the opposite problem.
Well, that's probably a better problem to have. So I'm going to recruit Bolivar Trask, or as I like to call him, Boli. When Bolivar Trask comes into play, search your deck for an Army Sentinel character card, reveal that card and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Also, knock your resource on the floor. I have followed all these steps. Now I'm going to search for a card, Army Sentinel card. We're going to search for probably that one. Nope. We're going to search for a card in the deck. I actually know what I'm looking for now. I swear. And I also swear these cards exist in the deck. Sentinel Mark 2. That is now in my hand. And then I am done.
GCPD officer, while exhausted, has reinforcement.
Oh, okay, alright. I'm with you. So, I am going to flip Prime Sentinels in my resource row. It's an ongoing plot twist that says whenever an opponent plays a plot twist from his resource row, that opponent loses 1 endurance for each non-stunned Sentinel character I control, which is currently 1.
I hate that.
So
It's 1 per, though.
1 per non-stunned.
And 1.
Boulevard Trask punches the police. What now, Popo? What now, Popo?
What are you doing?
Oh, that's interesting.
What am I doing? What is anyone doing?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I recruit Cole. I have initiative?
You do. Do you?
You won the roll and you went
I went
evens
even.
the last couple of times.
Maybe you recruit Cole in a moment. Yeah, I
So
went
I attack you for 1.
You're right. You're right. You are right. I punch your police officer in self-defense. Yeah, I think I still just recruit the Sentinel Mark III. Army Sentinel characters I control get +1 while attacking, which includes only the Sentinel Mark III.
I recruit Cole.
Cole.
Teen Titans characters I control get +1 defense for each stunned character I control.
Cole is so good compared to the Sentinel Mark III. I'm going to attack the GCPD for 2.
I'll take 2.
Sweet.
I will attack Boulevard Trask for 1.
I'll take 1, and I'm stunned.
Are you kidding me? What on earth are you doing?
I don't have that answer. Now it is your initiative.
I might calm mad. I think I should, though.
Sure. That deck can do awful things, and I know it can. You might as well.
I'm going to recruit Beast Boy.
So bad. I thought it was going to be something complicated and awful, but
No.
it was just Beast Boy.
Whenever Beast Boy attacks or defends, he gets a +1/+1 counter.
That's cool.
I'll just get this over here.
Yep. Boy, I have a general dislike for him. I have the Sentinel Mark II. I can activate them, discard Sentinel character card from my hand and negate an activated character effect.
Beast Boy will attack the 2-drop Sentinel.
Yep. It's a good play. Good play you did there. I'll take 4. The play that I will do is attack Cole for 4. With my sense. Do you punch a Trask?
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah. And we each take an additional 1. Yeah. Yup.
What's the cost right now? You have initiative.
2.
I have to wait till you're done. Wait, do we do resources? You resource.
I do resource. I recruit.
Then I do resources.
I
recruit.
form, and then you perform the same 3 steps.
Curses.
So, do I do the thing that will annoy you the most?
No.
It's a good point. That'd be so awful. I don't even think I'm that obnoxious. So what's the thing I do that annoys you the second most? Maybe I actually have to do the thing that will annoy you the most.
No.
But it's got a lot of problems. It's got some problems. Because you've got Beast Boy.
You've got Beast Boy.
I don't have Beast Boy.
You don't have Beast Boy.
That's correct. So I could do that, followed by that. I gotta read this card. Nope. I gotta read this card. Yes. I was afraid of that. It's really not great. I'm going to recruit the Sentinel Mark V. When they are ready, Army Sentinel characters I control have reinforcement. And they have a boost that's pretty awesome where they get 2 extra counters, but I'm not doing it. And I do have another Prime Sentinels,
Aw.
which is awful.
6.
You may in response flip something, but not that resource.
Yep. I sure can't.
It's,
Sure can't.
the card's a little annoying, but when you get 2, it's super annoying. 2 is like, it's pretty obnoxious. I usually just get 1. But I'll take it. Get him Sentinels. Screw you, Beast Boy. You pay the 6.
I actually have to recruit something first.
And as a reminder, the cost goes down by 2 every time you stun one of my characters.
I have a GCPD officers and a boosted Hank Hall. While I control Dawn Granger, Hank Hall gets +2/+2, boost 1. When Hank Hall comes into play, if you don't control Dawn Granger, go get her.
Right on.
Dawn Granger's power is a boost. While I control Hank Hall, she gets +1/+1.
Yup.
And then I play this, which is I may do only if I control a Gotham Knights character and a Teen Titans character. Draw a card, ongoing, cross them over.
And take 6 damage.
Take 6 damage.
It's worth it for the team up. Can't argue.
My formation is
Boy.
like this, I think. What did I get?
Not in love with this situation. You definitely have more firepower now than me. That magical reinforcement for Forever card is +3, if I remember correctly. has flight.
Can turn into a bird or a pterodactyl. Or some kind of bird-pterodactyl hybrid. A birdadactyl.
I knew you were going to say birdadactyl, and I wanted to preempt it with something that was better than birdadactyl, but there's not anything better. That's not even that good.
It's not anything better than birdadactyl.
There's
You
not-
heard it here first, folks.
Right, it has been determined. Oh my goodness. So I can do that thing,
Sure.
and it's not the worst of things. But it isn't great. I am going to attack Beast Boy for 8.
I'll take 6. I'll attack the 3-drop. I think I'll. Yep.
We will be stunned.
Not before 5.
Oh, cool. Clever. Because Cole, clever. A 4, 5, he said.
Did say that.
He said 4, 5. Could do that. It's probably my best play. I hate it. I'm going to flip up the Orbital Sentinel base, which I may activate to KO a ready Army Sentinel character I control, to KO target stunned character, and I will target Beast Boy.
Ah. Clever.
Now you
Now I'm
shall
a
be
4
stunned.
4.
I do take a point of breakthrough. We'll point out, plot twists come at a discount right now, only 2 life. Plot twist. I must pass.
Thank you.
At the end of the turn, I will reveal the South American Sentinel base, which I may activate to return an Army Sentinel character card from my KO'd pile and put it into my hand.
I don't understand why my draw is so stupid.
Well, we do have initiative. Perhaps that will help.
5 is a terrible number.
It's also the loneliest number, according to a song, if you listen to it 5 times.
I don't think that's how that works.
It's addition. Musical addition.
I can do that. It
Birdadactyl.
doesn't get me anything. I can do that, and it doesn't get me anything.
I'm with you. I like all your options. They sound great. My favorite part is where you not only do nothing, but you flip a bunch of
This
plot
in
twists to
my
do it.
hand. Put this here. Do that and nothing, or that and nothing.
It's not gonna be something different.
Uh,
What do I wanna do?
It's so dumb. Everything is dumb. I recruit Catwoman. Whenever Catwoman causes breakthrough to an opponent, I draw a card and that opponent discards a card.
So I will recruit Nimrod. Nimrod is not an army character, which is not really relevant anymore. He comes into play with a repair counter. If I control another Sentinel's character. If Nimrod would become stunned, remove a repair counter from him instead. If you do, exhaust him, and he is not stunned. It's very interesting wording on this one, because it says remove a repair counter, as though I could have multiple repair counters on him.
You might be able to do it somehow.
It's possible. There's probably some shady way. Don't currently have flight, but I have reinforcement on my army characters as long as he's ready. So I think we form like this. Because that's the most annoying outcome. Yeah. Yeah. It's fair.
What is that? What does your location do?
The orbital sentinel base.
Yeah.
Activate KO a ready army sentinel character I control to KO target stunned character. That's only these guys can be done, and only when they are ready.
This is going so poorly for me. I'm going to play Airborne Assault. Characters I control have flight.
But not that card. That card has only the
Plus
effects
one
of
attack
gravity.
while attacking this turn.
I was hoping you wouldn't be able to get flight on stuff. That will be costly for me, I think.
I'm not sure how costly.
Plus one attack at all times, or just while attacking?
While attacking. What I need to do is I need to team attack Sentinel. That's the 4-drop with these 3 characters.
Right. Not a bad play. Your attack is 7. It's exactly 7. Yeah, I'll attempt to deal the damage to Cole. Oh my.
Gotham Knights characters can't be stunned while team attacking this turn. Ongoing some stuff.
Well, I'll still deal the damage to Cole. I take 4. I'm afraid that I can't get Catwoman. You did that in such a deliberate fashion to remove my character that gave reinforcement, which makes me believe that somehow if I go for Catwoman, you'll be able to fizzle it. If you had the ability to give yourself reinforcement, and you had that location, does it have a cost limit? I don't remember. Alternatively, I go for the safe approach of attacking Hank. I'm going to attack Hank. Full 9.
I will take 7.
I feel like that's not right. I don't deal you that much. Do I? 5 breakthrough, 2%? No, I guess you're right. You did a count. Fair enough. I'm gonna.
What did you just say?
Let's ignore it. I'm gonna attempt to KO Hank by KOing my marker. You're getting hit anyway. I pop the marker back to my hand. Initiative. I'm going to have to make the most of this. I've got an advantage, but we're nearing, like, this is the turn that I need to win on, or I stop having drops. So, how do I do that? It's probably this way. I'm going to recruit another Mark V, but I'm going to pay the boost to give him 2 counters.
Is that all your resources?
That is all but 1. Then I am going to recruit a Wild Sentinel for 1. And then I will flip up my Underground Sentinel base to reveal a face-down Army Sentinel character card and put it into play.
We're all in trouble.
I should read the Mark IV, which is that he gets +1 attack for each other non-stunned Army Sentinel character you control, which is 3.
Play only if you control a Gotham Knights character and a Teen Titans character. Draw a card. Ongoing. Let's play an S deck.
Play an S deck? It shall be so. Yeah.
That was terrible. Kyle, you gotta stop. Like, you've been doing that thing all night where you're miles and miles ahead of me
Yeah.
in board position in life. And you're like, oh man, he's gonna get me. I need to really think about what I do this. I'm like, fucking end the game. Excuse me. Friggin' end the game.
Yep.
I have nothing. It's clear I have nothing. Read the board.
I didn't know you had nothing.
I didn't have anything bigger than like a 2-drop.
Yeah. I guess I got rid of Beast Boy. I should have taken that as a sign. Part of the reason I consider very carefully the Sentinels is on turn 6 I start KOing my own resources. So I either win on that turn or there's a slippery slope, and if I measure that incorrectly, I set myself
You
up
had
for
5
sadness.
middle-sized characters, and I had
On the last
3
turn, yeah.
or 4 tiny characters.
Yeah, that's fair. On that last turn, I was feeling pretty good.
And a huge life advantage.
That is true. That is true.
Terrible.
So this deck.
Alright, what do we got? These guys.
These guys.
These guys. See if I can have an enjoyable draw tonight. This
I
is
do.
actually a week of games not going my way.
Well, that does, however, mean that next week will be great.
Does it?
Unless this game is bad.
Next
or unless
week
this
you're not
game is
around.
great.
I don't even get to play.
That is true. We'll waste all your good luck next week where you can't play. If I can get... Oh, no, you're role-playing Thursday. I was going to say, if I can get Friday off, which I'm going to try to do, we could stream Thursday, but you're role-playing Thursday, so never mind.
Not next Thursday, I'm not.
Not
It's
this
every other
coming
week still.
Okay,
No.
so if I get this...
It's complicated. 'cause
Friday
it's a
off.
weeknight for me.
I know, so I'll leave it to your
We play it
discretion.
by ear.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do a shorter session.
Yep, yep.
But wait. That's the night Chris streams. That's not gonna work.
Fair enough.
I appreciate the gesture. though.
Sure.
You definitely shouldn't compete with our sister stream.
No, that's quite so.
Especially because he has like multiple viewers.
Yeah, that's true. And we have 2-0 depending on the degree of role playing we discuss. I'll go the inner die again. I don't even know what deck I'm playing. I think I remember. Dang it, I won. I think I'm playing a deck that goes evens. So I'm gonna go evens. I think I know which deck this is. Boy, I hope I called it.
Some of the things in here are useful.
I did.
But not all of them are. I'm gonna try it though.
I'm gonna keep. Oh my! I wish I didn't have that precise hand. It started off okay, and then it did the thing.
This is gonna be a weird game. Let's see what happens, I guess.
You
You
have
went
no
odds, did you say?
idea.
I did go evens.
Evens. All right. I shall not be recruiting one drop at this time.
I will shift Archangel.
Oh man, this might not actually go so bad.
So, shift is a reminder that I can put counters, spend resource points to put counters on a character. If they have counters on them equal to their cost, and I have resources equal to or greater than their cost, I can bring them into play during my recruit step. Archangel's power is important. While Archangel is shifted with 5 counters, which he's not yet, at the start of the recovery phase, a may KO target stunned character.
May A.
May S-A-A-O-A-A-O. Potato.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
That is not appropriate
I
behavior.
don't know what happened. I didn't mean anything by it, I swear.
That was really strange. It's your initiative, right?
Yes. Yes, it is. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to shift... I'm going to shift Blink with 1 counter and add a counter to Archangel, because I don't need characters to defeat you.
Clearly. I have Computo, Mr. Venge, who's a reverse. Activate target opponent recovers a stunned character he controls. Shush you. If you control another future foe's character, that player loses endurance equal to the cost of the character he recovered. Uses power only once per turn.
This game's gonna be strange. I don't know if this will go in my favor, but it'll be novel. I will pass.
I will hit you for 2. And
What?
then
What?
I will play Fatal 500.
What?
Play Fatal 500 only if a character caused breakthrough while under your control this turn. Search your deck for a future foe's character card, reveal it, and put it in your hand and shuffle your deck.
Disappointing.
I think the future foe's character I want is... It might not be that. Let's see. Oh, my decks are not faced. And by decks I mean cards.
I mean, I suppose you could claim your decks aren't faced either. Seems probable.
That's not that good.
Not that good.
What else could it be? That. Oh, yeah. Well, wait. Let me make sure I didn't screw this up. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. Okay, it didn't screw it up. I'm gonna go get the Emerald Empress.
Take a lot of damage. This is an odd scenario. I don't have 28 life though. I definitely have 48 life. Let's be real here. It dealt me 22 damage. Let's get ahead of ourselves. It's still another turn or 2 before that happens. Oh yeah. Do I draw cards now?
Why'd you have to go and do that?
I'm going to draw this card. I'm also going to draw this card. It's now your initiative.
Yep.
That's pretty fancy.
I'll be recruiting Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific. Terrific.
I'm not actually sure how you created that pronunciation. I couldn't do that if I tried. Just a T in the middle there.
Exhausted JSA characters I control get +2/+2 while in combat with a character of greater cost.
Okay. Okay. I have Blink. When Blink enters play, put a shift counter on each shifted card you own. So that happens.
I'm going to play thought it was.
True.
Yeah, here it is. I found it.
Mm-hmm.
As an additional cost to play Forbidden Loyalties, choose 2 different team affiliations among characters you can choose Future Foes and JSA.
I can't take that. I'm too tired for whatever that was.
You may discard a card. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on target character you control ongoing, cross them over. Is that right? No, I screwed that up. I was thinking, that's fine.
Sure, stuff. You get that blank.
I can do it this way. That's fine. Yeah.
Sure.
Should I?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't see why you wouldn't.
I'll put the counter. I'll tag Blink.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I'll do it like that. It's fine.
So you're okay. All right. Something is transpiring. Yeah, that'll work. I take 3.
I think I also take 2.
That is true. And then do I take 5 more?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Well, ow. Just do that. Is that right? That might be right. That's really weird. Huh. So I'm gonna spend 1 resource point to put Ilyana Rasputin into auto play as shifted. That's 1 resource point.
With so far.
Then I'm going to spend a 2nd resource point to shift. Got 3 left. The Talus. Is that right? No, that might not be right. Sorry, this mental math is killing me. It's too late to play this deck.
You use your dice like you usually do.
Yeah, alright. So I got 3 left. And I need, okay. So I'm going to spend 1 for that. And 2, okay. I don't do that. Then, I'm going to play Beak Saves the Day.
Putting her in concealed area? Or you're shifting her?
So she is shifted equal to cost -1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm then going to recruit Blink for a resource point.
I'm so confused.
So I'm down to 2 resource points. When she enters play, all of my characters get a shift counter.
I see what you're up to.
This is really hard to figure out. I then have 2 resource points remaining, which I will use to recruit my 4-drop. My 4-drop is Ilyana Rasputin, who says, at the start of the recovery phase, recover all stunned characters you control that entered play this turn.
Oh, that's good power. What I will be doing
I
is...
feel really clever with it.
Yeah. I'll recruit Terry Sloan, Mr. Terrific, whose power is exhaust adjacent characters I control, get +1/+1 while in combat with a character of greater cost. and then I will boost the Emerald Empress. When the Emerald Empress stuns a character an opponent controls, recover that character. This power triggers only once per turn. Boost 1 when Emerald Empress comes into play. You may search your deck for a card named Emerald Eye. Reveal it and put it into your front row.
Right.
Emerald Eye says, whenever Emerald Eye stuns a character an opponent controls, recover that character. This power triggers only once per turn.
Keen on that. Interesting. You know, it's interesting. I had always thought that Ilyana Rasputin's power triggers against herself, and now I'm not sure. If she is stunned, does her power trigger? Maybe
What does
not.
the power say?
The power says, at the start of the recovery phase, recover all stunned characters you control that entered play this turn. It might not count for
It
her.
won't count if she is stunned. That is true.
Interesting.
She's hidden, so
Right.
you got that going for you.
True story. So, but all your dudes are +3/+3 while in combat with a character of greater cost.
If they're exhausted.
If they're exhausted. We're not in a bad position right now. Want to take some beats.
I hope so.
So, Ilyana is going to attack the Emerald Eye for 7.
All reinforced. I do it again with Mr. Venge.
Who is +3/+3. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I do have Boiling Point. Target actually is now the time. Sorry. So right now we are both stunned. If I do nothing. Maybe that's okay. I take an extra 6 damage. If I can do that thing. Yeah, I think maybe I have to do that. I don't love it. Seems like such a waste. But it saves me 9 damage.
Shifter or something.
Yeah, I've got sort of shenanigans, but I'm trying to decide if it's the right choice and how valuable the 9 life is. It's tough because I'm kind of a late game deck, so taking extra damage is a huge risk. But I'm getting the counter stun, and I think I'm just gonna settle. I'm gonna settle. We trade. I take 3.
I take 2. Team tag you.
Why are you
I'm gonna
doing
play another Fatal 500.
Man, letting you stack your hand. Boy, the cost is high.
This time,
Cost is real high.
go get mono.
Not a lot. Not psyched. Not psyched about it.
Recover Mr. Bench. Use the name of that. Is that right? I think I lose. No, I lose it.
Now it is your initiative.
Yep. I'm going to recruit Mono with his boost. Whenever Mono stuns a character an opponent controls, recover that character. This power triggers only once per turn. Boost 1. When Mono comes into play, whenever a character an opponent controls recovers during the combat phase this turn, it cannot ready this turn.
Boy, I'm in bad shape over here. What do I do about this? Sure don't the thing. I'm going to pay 2 to shift Blink into play, which leaves me with 3.
Shifter into play.
She says whenever a character becomes stunned, I may discard a card. If I do, remove that character from the game with shift counters equal to its cost minus 1. Do that to your characters and mine. I'm then going to spend a resource point on the Talus, which leaves me with 2. While the Talus is equipped to blink, whenever a character enters play under my control, rarely for an Exiles character card, I'm going to spend 1 resource point to bring Angel into play. Archangel. Still have 1 resource point remaining. When that happens...
He has a power when he's shifted, I thought.
When he has 5 counters, yes.
Okay,
but I'm
so
choosing to
it's
bring
no
him into
longer
play to
shifted.
give that up.
Got it.
But I do get to rally for an Exiles character card. Was successful. Do you want to read Magnus?
No.
And then I have 1 resource point remaining, which I suppose I'll use it to shift Magnus, so you can read him anytime you want.
Yay. I can read Magnus whenever I want.
Yeah, I should read the Talus. Shift, equipped character gets +2/+2, so Blink is an 11/11. And I already read you the other part, but I might not have read the +2/+2. So she's an 11/11.
You're not going to like what I'm going to do.
No, I don't like it. It's not good, and my deck is not quite letting me do what I want to do, so we're going to deal.
The Emerald Empress is going to attack Blink.
I don't like that. What is happening?
I'm going to play Brother in Arms. There's an additional cost to play Brother in Arms, exhausting non-attacking,
card is
non-defending
so good.
TSA character you control.
Oh my god.
Target attacker or defender you control gets +X attack this attack, where X is the attack of the character you exhausted.
Jeez. So Mono's power is whenever anyone is stunned,
Whenever anybody recovers during the combat phase, they cannot ready
Right.
this turn.
Right. So your attack is plus.
It's 15.
It is 15. That's so much attack. Sure is a lot of attack. Man, that's so much attack. That's such a good play. Oh, curse that card. Such a good play for like 30 reasons. Jeez. Now I can't even attack you with Archangel. Boy, that's bad.
I wonder if I can get you concede.
Maybe. That's pretty bad. Like, you're then going to recover me for another 5. I'm taking 9, 5, plus 6.
Goodbye, phone.
9, 5, and 6. That's 20. Is that a 20 damage turn where I deal you 2 back? You would be at 43. That's a pretty big swing. Ugh. God, that's so vile. There are some... I'm not totally without options. I have the really, really crazy play that if it works would be pretty amazing. But it's like 4 cards and of extreme cost. And then I have the less crazy play, which is probably what I have to do, but still makes me sad.
So I'm not gonna do. I won't do the evil part of that.
Well,
It's one of those broken cards.
well, you do what you got to do. I'm gonna beak saves today.
Yeah, shifter.
Yep.
Whoa.
So you don't get mono back. Now it is my attack.
Give me a sec. Interesting. Okay.
I think I have to. Otherwise, I'm getting obliterated. Archangel will attack the Emerald Eye for 10.
It's the Empress.
That one, yeah.
I cannot get her exhausted, and that makes me sad. Yep. So I will take 6.
Then I still take a beat to my face, but it ain't as bad as it was.
Is now the time to do it? What are the odds that we're going to get to, what are we on, 5, 7? That's
Pretty
the
good.
key. You think?
Unless you're killing me on the turn I have my initiative. Which maybe you can.
Maybe I got to do this now.
Indeed.
I'm going to play Watch the Birdie. The controller of target visible character moves it to his visible... Sorry. The controller of target hidden character moves it to his visible area. That character gets -3 defense while defending this turn. It's such a tough call. I'm thinking. Archangel has stats. Ileana is a dangerous power next turn.
They both have their advantages.
I think it's got to be her.
She's -3 defense this turn. Okay. It is your initiative.
I'm going to team attack her.
Yep. More importantly, she's visible, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I got to deal the damage to your 1-drop. I'll take 4.
Exhaust Mr. Terrific to play.
No.
Removed from continuity.
Oh my.
As an additional cost to play removed from continuity, exhaust a DC character you control.
Whoa.
Remove target stunned non-army character from the game. You may discard a card to do awful things that I will never do.
What?
I can remove all copies of him from the game.
Oh, that's...
I hate those
Yeah,
cards.
that's real stupid.
Yeah.
It's also just a pain.
Yeah.
Because it's like I have to search the deck, that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, like, the horrible thing is, like, I could remove all of the blink from your deck.
Yeah,
it's like a
that's
third of your
awful.
deck.
That's
It's
so
terrible.
awful, though.
It's dumb. I would never do such a thing.
I appreciate it. The removal from the game is
Yeah.
status quo and good to have in the deck, but yeah, just...
This is a weirdly tough call.
Yeah. No, I'm glad to put you in at least a somewhat challenging position.
Boy, yeah, it might be Terry Sloan.
He's good.
Emerald Empress visible with potentially +3/+3 is very useful.
True story. Initiative, huh?
This is in the deck to interrupt their powers.
Right.
But I felt like I had to use it aggressively then.
Right. No, you definitely get a strong character advantage. So, I will bring out. Man, I wish there was a way I could get just one more Dutters. Can I? No, I can't. I can't. Spend 1 resource point to bring Blink back out. We remember how she works. And then 5 to bring out Magnus. We'll read Magnus's power. When Magnus enters play, stun target character with cost less than or equal to the number of characters that have entered play this turn.
Oh.
Which is probably Terry Sloan. Even though I wish it were Mr. Bench.
Better choice, I think. I think pretty clearly. 6 and a 5.
A smaller 5 than it was.
I do have to play it that way. That's so strange. Alright. I'm going to recruit Validus with his boost.
Das.
Whenever Validus stuns the character in opponent controls, recover that character. This power triggers only once per turn. Boost 1. When Validus comes into play, whenever a character an opponent controls recovers during the combat phase this turn, the controller loses endurance equal to its cost.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
I will also equip to Mono a T-Spheres.
Uh,
T-Spheres cost 1 less to recruit while I control a JSA character. Equipped character gets +3/+3 while in combat with a character of greater cost.
Right. So Validus is whenever he stuns anyone under any circumstance, they recover.
Same for Mono.
Same for Mono,
But
both
once.
once a turn.
Yeah.
That's inconvenient.
That was the plan.
So if, however, you do not have a way to exhaust Mono, he doesn't get Mr. Terrific's benefit.
Correct.
T-Spheres is all the time, or also when
all the
exhausted?
time. It's still up the chain, but it is all the
Right.
time.
Right. 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 Mr. Terrific's potentially another +2/+2. That's what his, if they're
It's
exhausted.
+2/+2.
Well, I must attack Mono. 'Cause right now, I am ahead of you by 1/1, so I will force you to do things. Or play for a longer game.
I whiffed on a lot of my exhaust powers.
Man, skin of my teeth for sure.
I gotta attack Magnus.
Does he have range?
No,
Did you mean to put him in the front row?
I did, yes.
That's fine. I would have still gone for Mono because I don't get stunned back, so I
I
accept.
could have even done it the other way. Oh, you have flight?
I do have flight with
that,
Magnus.
that makes, like, sense.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We'll allow it. It's all good. So you are +2/+2.
Yep.
So you'll deal 2 points of breakthrough, but you will be counter-stunned. Now you are not counter-stunned. That's less agreeable. I do have a boiling point. Target character gets +2 attack this attack. If it is the Exiles affiliation and entered play this turn, it also gets +2 defense this attack.
Oh, that's bad.
I don't
Oh,
stop
that's
it.
super bad. Oh, you don't stop it?
I don't
Okay.
stop it because you are still getting, but you are counter-stunned. So I take 6, and I assume you recover me with Mr. Venge.
Yes.
So I take a total of 18 from that,
Yep.
which puts me at 9.
I'm gonna take a boatload here.
I wish I had a way to make it a boatload more, but I don't. I'm just going to team attack you, or reason not to.
What's the total? 19?
It is a 19. Slight life advantage, but that was my initiative. I guess I stunned a lot of your dudes, so I'm in a better position than I was.
That's easy.
Sure.
Which of these two should I get rid of? Mono is bigger.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, he's just a straight up 11/11. Oh, that's something.
Oh, no. That's
you have dibs. You have dibs.
That sucks.
No. That is unfortunate. Is that the extent of it?
That's it.
Got another 6-drop. She's not that useful, but she's a 6-drop, so that's cool. She has... this is Namora, 12-13 with flight only. She has remove a shift counter from a card you own. Return target card from your KO'd pile to your hand. There's only once per turn. I will also shift Magnus with my last resource.
Oh, do you have the thing? I would be very sad if you have the thing.
Maybe. We'll see.
The thing is the
The
worst.
thing is the worst. The thing is really bad. But, how do I form? Probably like this. Is that true? Do I make you go through Namora? Is that more advantageous? You don't have flight. Your best attack might be against Blink. So you're just going to deal more breakthrough. And even though Venge pings, I think the breakthrough is better for you. So to minimize breakthrough, I form like that.
Oh, I know you have the thing.
Well,
The question is, how many?
like if you just go for Magnus,
How many of the thing do you have?
so when Mono attacks, Mono is plus a lot. You don't have the Validus power, so right now the only extra ping is Venge. Is that right?
Yes.
That I know about. I am conflicted on whether or not to put Magnus or Namora in front of Blink. You've only got one big attack, so I guess we do it that way. And if it's scary enough, I can reinforce with Blink, and if you go after Namora, extra point of defense so that you're punching through. Okay. Probably not seeing next turn. I just need you to fall into my trap.
I think I just lose a lot. I attack Namora with Venge. My brother in arms game.
Brother, you're the worst.
15.
Boy, that sure is a bunch. Yeah. That's interesting. By doing it that way, Mono still has Mr. Terrific's power. It's legit. 15. And I get the counterstun. Mono is a 13. Yeah, it's just gonna work. Is that right? Yeah. Yep. So I will take 8. moment when you wish you'd saved Magnus for a power-up. Yeah, I mean, I swing at mono. I got another boiling point, and unfortunately, because Magnus did not enter play this turn, he only gets the attack bonus. It's 14.
So you beat me by 2 attacks instead of by just 1.
I take 6.
So what did
I
you
think it
do?
takes the 2 to kill you, to get you. So, yeah, my attack is 1 ahead of your defense, if you have nothing else.
Well, no, I'm dead now. It doesn't mean we don't have to attack.
Oh, well, but I'm also at -5, is my point. So I am more dead than you, and then
Not,
now I'm at
yeah. Didn't take 2 attacks.
2. But yeah, I did not have the card.
That was lucky.
Never do that. I usually draw like 2 of it, which is awful.
Pretty awful.
Do you want to
missed the
just
hideout.
do you want to just retcon that card to be 1? Like I feel like this whole deck would still be an S.
Yeah,
it's
like,
really obnoxious.
No, I don't want to, but I feel like it should have been 1. I feel like it would have been better.
Because it makes the deck feel like no less an S deck, but it's still a good card. Like it still would be a good card, or make it not stack.
Such a good start to that game. I didn't have a good game tonight.
Well, that one was
Screwed by my
that one was
draws.
close until the last turn when you didn't draw anything.
Well, I had a Mr. Terrific. I had the Mr. Terrific I already had.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. You had a bunch of bad draws, and that sucks.
And like in that setup, literally anything is reasonable.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that was another one where like when you look at the games that there was one really bad game in the middle, but when
I shouldn't have tried to power up the Validus play. I should have held that Validus and played him this turn because I knew I was gonna try to play him this turn.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Validus boosted this turn, swings it in my favor, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Though you did get 1 extra Validus proc on the turn you played him. I don't know. Well, did you have an alternative play on that turn?
On what turn?
The turn that you Validused?
No, I powered Validus up to try to narrowly squeak ahead of an attack, which was stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. You should have that Validus.
Thinking I had Tharok in my hand, but I put Tharok in my resource row, and I kept Mr. Terrific in my hand, which was stupid.
Yeah, I mean, that Validus helps you both by the double stun and having Validus.
Yep.
So there's a double benefit there. Yeah, I don't know.
It was a silly. I made a lot of mistakes today.
Well, you were sleepy and your draws were against you, so that's a dangerous combination for sure. Boy.
I like this deck. It was so scary for 6 turns,
That's scary.
and then not.
Yeah. This deck has some interesting tricksy stuff. I felt really good about the blink play. The turn 4 blink where it's like, or the turn 3 blink, I shift the card I want to play, shift blink from play, bring her back into play.
That was cool.
And
yeah.
I get a net gain of 2 resource points when I did that for a future turn. And I felt really clever, but I didn't have the energy for it, and so it took so long for me to math out. And I was actually worried that draw was going to be bad for me. It opened with me having to put a Talus in my resource row, which is really not the place you want the Talus. But I drew another Talus and ended up having okay other stuff.
What is the Talus?
The Talus is the one that lets me rally and also gives Blink 2/2.
So good.
Talus is really good. But it does actually cost a legitimate resource point. It is...
But it's shit.
It has shift, so I have to spend that resource point at some point, but it's still a resource point, so it's not like one of those zero-cost recruits.
Yeah. Let's sign off.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Yep.
We will not be back next week, but we will the following week. Nobody's here. We
Sounds
chased him
good.
off talking about D&D.
But still, we tell our YouTube viewers the plan.
Yeah. Good night, all.
Good night. Have a great weekend. Poor Chris. Poor helpless man-eating Chris.
What happened?
It seems as though...
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, we missed some of the chat, but it seems as though Chris became upset with our critique of a particular Dungeons and Dragons rule and left the stream.
That's not logical.
That's true. But, it's hard to get into the mind of someone, especially when they're typing. You don't necessarily get a sense of their
I
minds.
I don't know that he was upset. He might have just been busy or something.
Yeah. I don't know. He put quotes around "have to agree to disagree." That seemed kind of grumpy.
Well, that's an okay resolution.
Yeah, but he put quotes around it. That's the weird part. If he just said, "we'll have to agree to disagree," that's fine. But when I don't know. It seemed. I hope you're right.
Maybe he was quoting me. I did say that at one point.
You did, but to quote it back explicitly is. I don't know. I read Chris grumpiness into that, but we'll see.
I'll ask him.
And he sometimes does.
Man, that has been my relationship with literally like everyone person this week. It's been so awful.
How did the D&D group respond to
Fucking
your
stop.
concerns? Is it still what is happening? Is it streaming or are we still going? Recording?
Stop.